Welcome back to Unsolved Mystery Secrets True Crime, where we uncover some of the most chilling true crime stories and unsolved mysteries of our time. The case of Judge Joseph Force Crater is one of the most infamous unsolved disappearances in American history. Crater, a well-known judge in the New York Supreme Court, vanished without a trace in 1930, leaving behind a trail of theories, suspicions, and unanswered questions. His disappearance captivated the nation, sparking widespread media attention and becoming a mystery that remains unsolved to this day. This explores the life, career, and baffling disappearance of Judge Joseph Crater. We will dive deep into the details of the case, including the key moments leading up to his last known sighting, the investigation that followed, and the ongoing theories about what really happened to him. Joseph Force Crater was born on January 5, 1889, in a small town in Pennsylvania, less than 100 miles from New York City. Growing up, Crater displayed an aptitude for academics and was driven to succeed. His education began at Lafayette College, where he earned his undergraduate degree, and continued at Columbia Law School in New York City. During his time at Columbia, Crater's academic excellence and dedication to his studies led him to become a highly respected figure in the legal community. It was at Columbia where he met his future wife, Stella Wheeler. The couple married in 1917, and their union was a significant part of Crater's personal life. Crater's early career was marked by ambition. He initially worked as a law clerk and taught law at several institutions in New York. However, his big break came when he was appointed as a secretary to New York Supreme Court Justice Robert Wagner. This role allowed him to gain valuable experience in the legal field and, eventually, to build a career for himself in the world of law and politics. In 1927, Crater's career took a significant turn when he was appointed to the New York Supreme Court by then-Governor Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Crater's appointment was seen as a testament to his legal acumen and political connections. He was known for his sharp legal mind and ability to navigate the complex world of New York politics. Crater's rise to power was not just about his legal prowess, it was also about his connections. He was well liked by influential figures in New York City, and he had built a reputation as a man who could get things done. His wealth also grew significantly during this time, as his legal career provided him with a lucrative income. By 1930, Crater was earning a salary of $25,000 a year, a sum that would be equivalent to more than $375,000 in today's money. This financial success allowed him to live a comfortable life, purchasing a Fifth Avenue apartment for his wife, Stella, and maintaining a summer home in Belgrade Lakes, Maine. The events leading up to Joseph Crater's mysterious disappearance began on August 2, 1930. Crater and his wife, Stella, had been staying at their summer home in Maine, but on that day, Crater received several phone calls that seemed to upset him. He informed Stella that he had to return to New York City for business the following day but assured her that he would be back by August 9th, her birthday. Crater arrived back in New York on the evening of August 4th. He spent the night at his Fifth Avenue apartment and made plans to return to Maine on the 7th. However, he was seen on August 5th at his office, and again on August 6th, where he withdrew $5,150 in cash from his bank account, the equivalent of more than $80,000 today. The cash withdrawal is significant, as it raised questions about what Crater planned to do with the large sum of money. What was he preparing for? Was this withdrawal connected to his sudden disappearance? On the night of August 6th, Crater's activities took a curious turn. After leaving his apartment, he visited his friend and ticket broker, Joseph Gansky. One of the most prominent theories surrounding Crater's disappearance was that he had been murdered. Some believed that Crater had gotten involved in corrupt dealings, possibly with organized crime figures, and that he was eliminated as a result. The withdrawal of a large sum of money before his disappearance added fuel to this theory, suggesting that Crater might have been preparing to flee or settle a debt. Another theory posited that Crater had staged his own disappearance. Some speculated that the judge had become disillusioned with his life, possibly due to financial difficulties or personal issues, and decided to start anew under a different identity. The fact that he withdrew a large sum of money and made no effort to contact his wife or colleagues seemed to support this idea. Given the context of the Great Depression, it's also possible that Crater fell victim to the economic hardships of the time. Some suggested that Crater's involvement in the political scene and his potential knowledge of sensitive information made him a target for those in power. Others believed that Crater may have simply succumbed to the pressures of his life and sought an escape. Despite extensive investigations and widespread media attention, the case of Judge Joseph Crater remains one of the most baffling unsolved mysteries in American history. Over the years, numerous theories have been proposed, and many individuals have claimed to have seen Crater after his disappearance. However, none of these leads have proven to be credible. Crater's case was officially closed in 1931, but the questions surrounding his disappearance continue to captivate true crime enthusiasts, historians, and conspiracy theorists to this day. On the evening of August 6, 1930, just before vanishing into legend, Judge Joseph Crater made a phone call from his chambers to his wife Stella in Maine. He assured her that he would be returning shortly, likely the next day. This phone call, now seen as ominously casual in retrospect, was the last confirmed contact anyone had with the judge. After dinner at Billy Haas's Chop House with his friend William Klein and showgirl Sally Lou Ritz, Crater reportedly left them at around 9:15 p.m. Ritz and Klein claimed that Crater had entered a taxi, alone, and drove away. This simple, almost mundane act marked the beginning of one of the most baffling missing person cases in American history. When Crater failed to return to Maine as promised and did not show up for work in New York City courts, concern slowly morphed into panic. By August 25, 1930, he was officially reported missing. The press immediately latched onto the story. Judge Crater wasn't just a missing man, he was a figure of status, with political connections and a glamorous, mysterious lifestyle that played like fiction. The media began feeding the public with headlines ranging from wild speculation to outright scandal. This wasn't just a missing person, it was a perfect storm of politics, power, sex, and secrecy. Tabloids of the time dubbed him the missingest man in New York. And as the days turned to weeks, the public became increasingly obsessed. His disappearance shared front pages with national headlines, competing with stories of the Great Depression and growing unrest abroad. Theories started to take form, some plausible, others bordering on conspiracy. Had Crater run off with a mistress? Was he murdered to protect political secrets? Did he stage his own disappearance? These questions only deepened the mystery and fueled the frenzy. What emerged from police investigations and journalistic digging painted a far less honorable image of Crater than the public had previously seen. Behind the scenes, Judge Crater was involved in questionable financial activities. He had withdrawn large sums of money shortly before his disappearance, $5,000 from his bank and an additional $20,000 from a safe deposit box. He also destroyed personal documents and had files moved from his apartment. These actions were interpreted by many as the behavior of someone preparing to either flee or cover his tracks. His connections to Tammany Hall, the corrupt Democratic political machine that essentially controlled New York City at the time, added fuel to the fire. Some speculated that Crater's knowledge of illegal political deals made him a target. If he was a liability to powerful figures, would they have had him eliminated to silence him permanently? Stella Crater, the judge's wife, was thrust into a media spotlight she never wanted. Her initial statements to the press showed genuine shock and grief, but even her account would later raise questions. Notably, Stella didn't report her husband missing until 10 days after his last known sighting. She had received a telegram instructing her to remain in Maine, which she followed, despite her growing worry. Only when he failed to arrive as promised did she sound the alarm. In the years that followed, Stella became a minor celebrity herself, especially as she fought to preserve her husband's legacy and pry open what she came to believe was a government cover-up. She believed her husband had uncovered a political scandal so deep it had cost him his life. The initial investigation into Judge Crater's disappearance was intensive. Detectives interviewed dozens of individuals, traced financial transactions, and followed hundreds of tips. Crater's safety deposit boxes were examined, and all known associates were questioned. But no body was ever found. No solid leads materialized. And slowly, the investigation lost steam. In 1937, 7 years after his disappearance, Crater was officially declared dead. The case became cold, filed away as one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in American legal history. One of the most intriguing aspects of the Crater case is the sheer number of showgirls tied to his name. Beyond Sally Lou Ritz, Crater was also linked to June Bryce, a showgirl who had received financial gifts from him in the weeks before he vanished. Bryce's own story is mysterious. She fled to Canada shortly after the judge disappeared and refused to speak to investigators. What did she know? Was she simply trying to avoid the glare of the media, or was she running from something far more sinister? Showgirls at the time were often courted by wealthy men, but in Crater's case, some believe one of these women may have played a more active role in his disappearance. Was he lured into a trap under the guise of romance? For decades, Crater's disappearance remained an unsolved enigma until a surprising twist emerged in 2005, 75 years after the judge vanished. Stella Ferrucci-Good, a New York woman in her 90s, left a deathbed letter for her family. In it, she claimed that her husband, Robert Good, a New York police officer, was involved in Crater's murder. According to her confession, Crater had been killed by members of the NYPD and buried beneath the boardwalk at Coney Island. Ferrucci-Good's letter contained specific names, dates, and locations. Investigators did examine the location she mentioned, but no body was found. Still, her statement brought the case back into public consciousness. The idea that a group of corrupt officers may have silenced the judge to protect political interests struck a nerve. Could a conspiracy within the very organization assigned to protect citizens be responsible? Despite being declared dead and long presumed murdered, the story of Judge Joseph F. Crater continues to captivate the public imagination. The mystery remains unsolved, but that hasn't stopped new generations of amateur sleuths, historians, and journalists from speculating. The Crater case laid the groundwork for how we understand public corruption, power, and scandal. It also raised awareness of how even the most powerful figures can vanish without a trace, their secrets buried deep beneath systems built to protect them. If this story sent chills down your spine and left you hungry for more mysteries that remain buried in the shadows, you're in the right place. This is Omen Uzoma, where we dive deep into the most chilling unsolved cases, forgotten disappearances, and the darkest corners of true crime and the paranormal. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and join our growing community of truth seekers. There are so many more haunting cases coming your way. From vanishing figures like Judge Crater, to secret societies, haunted trails, and cold cases that refuse to die, we're just getting started.